Hi, Doug from blockingtheplate.com, and today's Goldbelly delivery is John's roast pork out of Philly. Now, I've eaten a lot of cheesesteaks in Philly over the last couple of years, and my favorite has always been John's roast pork. You know, I did a Goldbelly delivery with Pat's King of Steaks a few weeks back, and it was good. I can always eat Pat's. It's like, you know, I compared it to eating candy. It's one of those snacks that I can just eat and feel good and just have a good meal anytime. But John's roast pork is my true favorite. So I'm looking forward to getting into this Goldbelly delivery and seeing how it compares, especially since I've eaten at the actual, establishment too. And we'll see where it goes. But yeah, this week, John's roast pork. Now this time through I didn't do the unbox because I actually got the box yesterday. They do arrive mostly frozen, so I wanted to make sure and give it an extra day in the fridge so that they could kind of thaw out before throwing them in the oven. You can see they come with 4 sandwiches. I did the Philly cheesesteak. I did not do the roast pork. That's just my personal preference, but they have the roast pork available too. Now, one thing that's different about John's roast pork compared to the Pat's delivery and instructions is Pat's actually tells you to put them on a pan and cook them basically out of the foil. But in this case, the instructions that came with John's roast pork are that you actually cook them in the foil packages that they send them in. So I'm going to break these open and let's see how they look. First glance of the sandwich out of the foil, you can see that they do a good job of double wrapping this. You know, one of the things with Pat's, I felt the sandwich got a little bit dry, so I'll be curious to see if keeping it wrapped in foil and cooking it that way makes a difference. Just in terms of overall, I went with the seeded bun because I love those seeded buns. You can see it's some good size to it. And I think kind of like Pat's, if you kind of spread the meat out and stuff before you get it in there, I think it'll cook a little more evenly, and I think it'll fill it out a little bit too. All right, heating instructions say fully thawed. Toss them in 10 to 15 minutes. So we're gonna pop them in, and now let's see how these babies turn out. So this is at the 15 minutes of the 10 to 15 minutes. And first observation is really similar issue to what I ran into with Pat's, and that's that the meat's still cold. So something I've been doing with the other couple that I'll be doing with this one here in a second is one of the comments on my Pat's thread mentioned the idea of throwing them in the microwave. So I'm putting it in the microwave for 30 seconds just to try to get the meat a little bit warmer in the middle. You can also see that I fluffed the meat out a little bit to kind of spread it out a little bit more. And then when I'm re-wrapping it in the foil, I'm wrapping it a lot looser so it's not quite so tight, getting that heat a chance to really get in there and hopefully finish this thing off. I'm at 20 minutes so far. You can see that they're super loosely wrapped. I took them out at the 20-minute mark. That's not counting the 30 seconds in the microwave, and they're still a little bit cool to the touch. They're almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and have them in there for about another 3 to 4 minutes, and I think we'll be set. But kind of like the other deal with the Pat's, expect that they're gonna take a lot longer to cook than the instructions, at least certainly if you want them to taste right. Labor of love, it is officially done. 10 to 15 minutes, not so much, closer to a half hour by the time I'm done. Now this is, you can see what I've done is basically once it's out, I take a fork and I try to kind of fluff it up a little bit more to fill it out. I did that before I put it in for that last 5 minutes again. Meat-wise, it has more meat than Pat's did. It looks like it could use some more cheese, but we'll get down to the taste of it here in a minute. And I'm looking forward to giving it a go. All right, so John's roast pork. You know, again, I've actually had this in Philly, so it'll be interesting to try how it is compared to actually being there. All right, so gut feeling on the first bite. Pun kind of intended there. The meat tastes good. Meat tastes about like I remember. But similar to Pat's, I would say the biggest issue is needs more cheese. Now, just a recommendation on some of these cheesesteaks. You know, a lot of places, I know Shake Shack here locally will send out burger kits that you're gonna turn around and do remotely. And I kind of wonder if that wouldn't work better for cheesesteaks too. You know, if they sent the rolls, they sent the meat package separately, and then the cheese or American, provolone, whatever your choice is, and send that separately, if that wouldn't be easier to assemble, easier to, reheat and maybe preserve a little bit more of that flavor. But overall, I'd say still tastes good, and looking forward to eating the rest. Thanks for watching. Oh, and maybe I'll have some dessert in a second too. All right, I just finished basically 2 cheesesteaks worth of meat. Like with Pat's, I like to take all the meat from 2 sandwiches, throw it into one, and crush it. And I'm stuffed. And I don't know if I'm gonna have time for dessert, let alone this rainbow cake from Carlos that we ordered for Maddie's birthday yesterday. So, but I'm pretty sure I'll manage here pretty soon. Now this rainbow cake from Carlos, what do I think of it? Well, I would say it's tasty, it's sweet. It's not my personal favorite just because I'm not a huge cake person. My initial impression of it, especially for the cost, it was close to 70 bucks, was that I thought it would be bigger. And yeah, that's what she said, but I did. I mean, it's a pretty small cake when you think about what the cost was. But it's more than enough cake for 4 people, and it made my daughter very happy on her birthday. So thanks for checking out this video, and there are more Goldbelly deliveries here for all you food explorers out there. Take it easy.